Welcome to my series called Movie Reviews, where I talk about movies that I have watched during a particular year. Oh, excuse me. This one was the one that I actually watched after Coco because I needed something that I had already seen that was not going to make me blubber like an idiot. When I first watched it, it did make me blubber, but now that I've watched it a couple of times, I'm okay. And that is Wreck-It Ralph. I love Wreck-It Ralph because it has a lot of the video game culture that I'm a part of, and it is oh, it's so good. I apologize if you can hear my parents' dog. My mom's trying to vacuum. It's very, very loud. Um, Also, my dog's very, very loud. But I love Wreck-It Ralph because the whole idea of Ralph is that he's a bad guy. He's literally the villain of Fix It Felix Jr., which is a game in Litwack's arcade. And he's been doing this for a very, very long time. And legitimately, I understand why he's tired of always being the villain. And he's never respected for his position. And you actually come to find out that without him, the game actually does not exist. Without Ralph there, the game falls apart. And it falls apart when Ralph decides he's going into a new game, which is a first-person shooter called Hero's Duty, to get a medal. Because in Wreck-It Ralph, Fix-It Felix gets a medal at the end of the game. It's all of that. But he ends up getting stuck inside of a game called Sugar Rush, which is a kind of a candy kitty car game, a car racing game. And he ends up meeting Vanellope, who is a glitch character that wants to be a racer. And I will say that this had one of the best reveals for a villain. Because the one thing that they did so well is hide the villain in plain sight. And legitimately, I'm like, I think it's this person, but their reasons why they did this make sense. Because logically, that's what happens. Basically, you have a character named King Candy who runs Sugar Rush. And he is dead set on not letting Vanellope race because she's a glitch. And in the world of Wreck-It Ralph, a glitch cannot leave their game. It's physically impossible for them to be able to leave their game. And he makes a really good argument of if Vanellope becomes a racer, because in their world, if you end up winning a race, you become put on the roster. And then if you're on the roster, that means you can be picked by other players. So he makes a good point that if people saw Vanellope glitching out because she can't control it, they might think the game is broken. And then the cabinet gets unplugged. Now, the regular characters, they can actually escape. But Vanellope, because she's a glitch, she can't. And that's actually proven at the end of the game, at the end of the movie, when she tries to escape and she can't. So it makes sense why King Candy is saying this. Now, there's other factors of why he's saying this, but I will say that there are a couple of plot holes in it that don't make a whole lot of sense. But at least at that moment, but they could probably be explained very easily. But it's so good because it basically pulled the wool over the audience's eyes. It gave you just enough that you could probably figure it out, but not enough that you could be certain of it. And I highly, highly love that. So I highly recommend Wreck-It Ralph if you haven't seen it. I still haven't seen Ralph Breaks the Internet yet. But I heard it was okay, so I'm kind of but we'll see what happens. So, thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!